Hello, and welcome to my first video of reading Star Wars Fan Club newsletter. I'm so excited. I love this movie. So excited. I finally got the very first issue. Star Wars came out last year. And I've probably seen it 100 times. I love this movie so much. And now we have the official Star Wars fan club and the official Star Wars fan club newsletter. I I want to know everything about Star Wars. I do. I just love it so much. I'm buying the toys. Look how cool these toys are. They look exactly like the characters from the movie. It is so neat. They call these action figures. This is so cool. I can't wait to get some more. I'm gonna keep collecting more and more Star Wars. But this is not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Star Wars Fan Club newsletter. I'm going to read the Fan Club newsletter for all you people out there who may not have the Star Wars Fan Club newsletter and want to know more about Star Wars. And I'm going to be here and I'm going to give you all the information that you need. Before I begin reading, how about some Star Wars trivia? Number 1. What are the names of Luke's aunt and uncle? Number 2. What language did Luke's aunt want the new droids to speak? And number 3. Who did Greedo work for? The answers to these trivia questions will be given on the next video. If you don't know the answers, that's okay. Just go see Star Wars again. Or ask a friend who's seen it a lot. Because how else would you get the answers? Alright, here is issue number 1. And this one, let me put my glasses on. This one has information about George Lucas. Now, in case you don't know, George Lucas is the person who directed Star Wars, and I believe he wrote it. A lot of you might know him as the director of American Graffiti, but he's the genius behind Star Wars, and I love him. I love Star Wars so much. So here we go. I'm going to read an article in the Star Wars Fan Club newsletter about George Lucas. Here we go. It's called George Lucas, the man behind Star Wars. Let's see. George Lucas is among the new generation of film directors who have loved films all their life. These directors were brought up on motion pictures and have continued their romance with film by attending film schools. They studied theories of filmmaking, explored the technical demands by making their own short films, and have endlessly viewed old films to rediscover the visual and narrative elements that made moviegoing a weekly habit. Other members of this new generation include Francis Ford Coppola. He's the Godfather guy in The Godfather Part 2. And Steven Spielberg, he did Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's a really cool movie. Brian De Palma did Phantom of the Paradise and Carrie. Ooh, that's a good one. John Milius, The Wind and the Lion and Dillinger. I don't know that one. And Martin Scorsese, Taxi Driver and New York, New York. I didn't see those. All of these men share that same love for films, which inspired George Lucas to become a director. I'm so glad he became a director, because then we wouldn't have Star Wars. George Lucas was born on May 14, 1944. The son of a retail merchant, he was raised on a walnut ranch in Modesto, California. As a teenager, his two passions were art and cars. Determined to become a champion race car driver, he worked at a local garage and in race pit crews throughout California. Following a serious automobile accident a few weeks prior to his high school graduation, he gave up all hope of becoming a race car driver. Darn. And we benefit that because then we wouldn't have Star Wars. He attended Modesto Junior College for 2 years where he majored in social sciences. By chance, he met award-winning cinematographer Haskell Wexler, who encouraged him to study filmmaking and helped pave the way for his admittance to the University of Southern California Cinema School. While attending the USC Cinema School, he quickly turned out 8 short films. He subsequently became a teaching assistant for a class of U.S. Navy cameramen. With half of the class assisting him, he made a science fiction short entitled Electronic Labyrinth, THX 1138 4EB. The film won the 3rd National Student Film Festival in 1967 to 68 and several other awards. Wow, that's pretty cool. In 1967, he was one of 4 students selected to make a short film about the making of Carl Foreman's McKenna's Gold. His short desert poem was Foreman's favorite, although it told more about the mysteries of the desert than about Foreman's film. Lucas then won a scholarship to Warner Brothers to observe the making of Finian's Rainbow under the direction of Francis Ford Coppola. While working as Coppola's assistant on The Rain People, he made a 40-minute documentary about the making of the movie entitled Filmmaker, which has been recognized as one of the best films on filmmaking. Interesting. George Lucas's first professional feature motion picture, THX 1138, was an expanded version of his prize-winning student film. Starring Robert Duvall and Donald Pleasence, it was enthusiastically received by critics when first released and has become a cult film with a large following. In 1973, he directed American Graffiti, which he co-wrote with Gloria Katz and how do you say his name? Willard Hayek? Upon its release, American Graffiti was hailed as the quintessential movie about American teenage life and rituals. The movie was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, wow, and won the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture Comedy. I didn't know that. And New York Film Critics and National Society of Film Critics Awards for Best Screenplay. George met his wife Marcia when she was hired to assist him editing a documentary under the supervision of Verna Fields. She has edited Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Taxi Driver, and American Graffiti. Marcia Lucas was an editor on Star Wars and won the Academy Award for Best Editing. Wow! That's it about George Lucas. That was very cool and very interesting, and I'm glad that he didn't become a race car driver because, he got to make Star Wars. And Star Wars is like the best movie ever, right? Star Wars 2. Almost since the day Star Wars was released, rumors about the making and release of Star Wars 2 has been spreading. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. I gotta calm down a bit. I'm so excited. The ones we've heard announce the film as being in at least 5 different stages of production give 4 different firm dates for the opening of the film and other information that bears little to no resemblance to reality. To keep you informed of what's actually happening, we'll be running a semi-regular feature on Star Wars 2. Ooh, I'm so excited. We'll let you know about production and release dates, casting, scripting, and everything else concerned with the making of the sequel. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. As things stand right now, production on Star Wars 2 should start in early 1979. So awesome! With the release tentatively scheduled for the first quarter of 1980. Wow! What's that, like 2 years from now? Cool! Many of the characters, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, and Han Solo, will be returning, along with R2-D2, C-3PO, Darth Vader, and probably Chewbacca. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the sequel. Well, that's it for reading issue number 1 from the Star Wars Fan Club. Till next time, I'll be reading from issue number 2. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.